Hi there. Welcome back to Blank Page Journal Sessions, where we tap into the motivating effects of body doubling and writing prompts to make it easier to put pen to page. I'm Tara, Therapeutic Writing Practitioner. In most sessions, I share a bit of information, a little jibber jabber, and something we can use as a writing prompt. I set a timer for 10 minutes, and we write quietly together. Today, I want to talk about bridging two parts of ourselves. And before you look at the title, hopefully, and think, oh, maybe this isn't for me. I've always lived in this town. I haven't moved cultures. I think the idea of bridging cultures or having a heart in two cultures can apply to a lot of different scenarios. What I mean is, I'm from the United States and I've lived in Switzerland for a long time now, but I felt some similar cultural differences when I moved from Michigan to Florida or from Michigan to California. Where I live in Switzerland, there are folks who live here in the German-speaking part, but came from the French-speaking part or the Italian-speaking part, or who work in France and live in Switzerland or vice versa. Some people who are from the German-speaking part of Switzerland have a job where they work entirely in English. So language isn't just about being from a different country, and cultural experiences aren't just about being from a different country. You can move from one side of the state to the other and experience a different culture. You can have parents who come from somewhere else and have instilled in you traditions and values that stem from their home country. And so you are raised with multiple cultures in your home. And the reason I want to talk about this today is that these stories of our cultural roots aren't always understood. Sometimes we don't even have a chance to stop and think about how they affect us. How these cultural stories that live within us play out in our decision making and how we feel we connect to the people around us, in how we see our future, how we tell stories about our past, how we connect with new friends, how we think about the music that we love or share with other people, how we cook food, the types of clothes we buy, the climate we're living in. Anytime we spend a good chunk of our time in cultural settings that don't always align with the culture of, for lack of a better term, the culture of our bones that we feel deeply within us, it can be a bit disorienting. We can feel misunderstood. Sometimes this plays out in feeling pressure to conform. You might feel conflicted because your kids are growing up in a different experience than your cultural understanding. You want to be accepting, but you also want them to understand where you come from and where they come from. There's also some really cool things that can happen when we look at how we blend the cultures within our lives. How do we share those traditions with new family members? I know one of the things that I force my in-laws to do is celebrate Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving meal with us here. We even put on a YouTube broadcast of the Thanksgiving Day parade. We watch football because we can get some NFL here. So we put on a game. It's not necessarily the Thanksgiving Day game, but my in-laws had no idea what this day was about, and I get to share it with them. So I thought that for this little bit of time we have together, we could do a little bit of writing that helps us look at maybe a little bit of our roots, the culture of our upbringing that we still carry with us, as well as some of the cultural things that we experience in our day-to-day lives now, and how those kind of blend to inform how we live our lives, how we experience things. One of the ways I think about, oh, there's some big tractors coming through here. Hang on. I've tended to think about this in the form of a bridge. I sometimes see myself really stretched where a part of me has a foot in the United States and a part of me has a foot in Europe, here in Switzerland, and I sort of am stretched like a bridge across that gap. And you could also be thinking about it like waterways. You might be the estuary where the salt water of your past mixes with the fresh water of your present. There's a whole new environment. There's a whole new experience just inside you and your experience that maybe other people don't understand. And so if we can take a few minutes to express that on the page, I think that would be something fun for our session today. So what you might try to do, maybe you already have some ideas in your mind and you want to take off running with that, and that's totally cool. One of the prompts you could use, or not necessarily a prompt, but kind of an instruction, is to divide your page into 3 sections, either literally or just keep that in your mind. And on one section, you could list some words or feelings or ideas or flavors, textures, colors, sounds that feel like home to you. On the other side of the page, do something similar with your current culture, where you're living or working or experiencing a bit of life now, where some of these things are new. Some of these things feel a bit confronting, or that you had to really take time to absorb into how you live your life now. And then the middle part is where you can play around. You can keep it as like a mind map with groupings of words, or you could start finding connections. Maybe there are some opposites there. Maybe there's some alignment that you didn't even realize. And just start seeing what shows up for you. Maybe there's a bit of writing, free form writing that you can do, or maybe you start to see a bit of poetry come through. Maybe you're suddenly rhyming words out of nowhere. Not that poems always have to rhyme, but anyway, you get what I mean. So basically, that's about it. What else was I going to say? So anyway, again, my idea is to kind of group these words into 3 sections. On one side being where you came from, on the other side, the experience of the new now for you, and then explore what happens in that middle space and see what comes up for you and how you might be able to express what it's like to live your special brand of culture, where you're mixing all of these experiences, senses, stories, all together in one place inside of you. Okay, I think that's about it. Okay, and I did have some sentence structures that I can give you as prompts as well if you're feeling stuck for words. Sometimes having almost a full sentence on the page, almost like Mad Libs, like if you used to do those as a kid, where almost everything is filled in and you just pop in a few words that fit for you. So I'm going to go ahead and put a slide in that has those words on, so you don't have to worry about copying all this down right now. And I'll also put the sentences in the video description, so you can scroll up and look at that. I'll just read them here before we get started. I am a beautiful, or badass, or boss, whatever modifier you want to say. I am a beautiful example of blended cultures because. And another one could be, from my home, I carry in my heart. Then you could list a tradition, an experience, a landscape. And where I live now, I opened my heart to, and again, another kind of tradition or landscape. Together, these combine to make my life, and then you fill in the blank. Sound good? Okay, let's go do some writing.
golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a crazy love moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire. Golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a crazy love moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a crazy love moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire. Hey, I'm never the same. Golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a crazy love moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire. sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a breeze, love moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire. Golden sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a breeze, love moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire. Sunlight. If I'm going with you, I know we'll get to the other side. Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a breeze, love moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire.
That's all for our session today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to keep writing, you can use the chapter markers to hop back to the beginning of the timed writing segment, and I'll put some follow-up ideas for you in the comments below. I hope you're proud that you took time for yourself today. It's not always easy. If you did enjoy the episode, please hit like. Remember to also subscribe to the channel so you can see when the next session is released. Drop a comment below the video. I'd love to hear how your writing went. Every time you hang out and interact on the channel, you'll be part of helping it grow. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next blank page journal session. Until then, follow your pen and see what you discover. Bye.